Hello everybody and welcome to Songwriting Simplified with me on my own tonight. There is a very good reason for that, which I shall go into in just a moment. But yes, you are in the right place. The title of the show is down there and it says Songwriting Simplified March 25th, 2020. That is a fairly strong indicator that you are in the right place for tonight's show. Normally would be on Jonny's channel, granted, but not tonight, and I will explain that in just a minute. Let's see. Ken says, once again, it is not appearing for me at YouTube. Had to go and click on the Facebook link. Yeah, the Facebook link is where to go. There was a very last minute change of plan. Normally, Jonny puts the ad out at least an hour, if not 2 hours ahead of time. But there is a reason why it has been changed at the last minute, which I'll get into in just a second. So we've only got 8 people in here. We did have 10, but we now only have 8. So if there's only going to be a small number of people tonight, then this will be a very, very short Songwriting Simplified. So yeah, apologies for the last minute change, but basically a very last minute change of plan, because something came up that has to be dealt with, which I'll explain in just a minute once a few more people are in the door. Bill Shep is watching a movie with his wife. That's fine, absolutely. I'm not expecting everybody to be here necessarily, especially with everything that's going on at the moment. Most people's lives have been turned upside down by various forms of shelter in place or lockdown or those kind of things. We are under lockdown here in the UK, and personally, I am still under quarantine until Friday, although as of today, my quarantine has been extended by a further 14 days. And the reason being is today I was down in hospital. I had injections in my knees, which I have relatively relatively regularly. I have cortisone injected into my knees, because my knees are pretty much destroyed, and so I had to go and take care of that. Hospitals in the UK are flooded with people for admissions for coronavirus. Lots and lots and lots of people, and folks in hospitals are working flat out. Trust me. My wife is a medic. We therefore have lots of medic friends, and they are working extremely long hours. They are only supposed to do 12-hour shifts, but many of them are doing way longer than 12-hour shifts just to handle the workload for admissions and taking on new cases and that kind of thing. So it's pretty crazy here. But yeah, so I was down there, and at the same time, whilst I was there, I was tested for COVID-19. You'll be pleased to know that it was a negative result. So I don't have COVID-19, but I do have seasonal flu. So I have been told to extend my quarantine by another 14 days. Joy. That has made me immensely happy. Not because, I was looking forward to getting out of quarantine and at least being able to go outside and get some fresh air, which I haven't been able to do. So, if you see what I mean, that's why I'm back in for another 14 days. It's It's really exciting. It does mean I get to do a lot more Studio One support than I would normally do, and I am raking my way through tons of stuff on answers.personas.com and in the forum as well. I'm sure I will see some of you over there, as well as the Facebook groups. So I've been a busy little boy doing my job. But yes, no COVID-19, which was quite a relief because I certainly feel pretty horrific. I'll tell you that. So it's taken me quite a lot of energy and effort just to actually have the strength to do a show tonight. I nearly called it off with Jonny. So now I'm going to get to, now that we've got about 14 people here, I'm now going to get to why it is just me. Pretty much about 35 minutes ago, I got a call from Jonny, and he has a family emergency that he needs to take care of. I'm not at liberty to divulge what that family emergency is, so please don't ask. Please don't ask me about what's going on with Jonny in the chat, because I cannot answer. I'm just not going to go there. I can't actually answer. Not allowed to. So I cannot tell you what is going on. Jonny, I'm sure will do that at some point. Soon, sometime. Bubbox Guitar says, do I need to put a mask on my screen with your coughing? Fortunately, I don't think seasonal flu or anything like that can be transmitted digitally. But if you want to do such a thing, then go ahead. Be my guest. So yeah, so it's a little bit last minute. I nearly called it off with Jonny because I'm just feeling so flipping awful that I didn't feel like I had any energy to do the show. But Jonny persuaded me and said, hey, let's just do it. I was just like, okay, fine. Yeah, cool. We'll do it. It's fine. Awesome. And and now I'm doing it on my own, which is fine. You know, Jonny's got an emergency that he needs to go take care of, so I'm absolutely cool with that. Alrighty, so let's see, what else do we have? Ken says, I've done my fair share of 16-hour shifts working in healthcare. Not fun. No, they are most certainly not. Some of our closest friends are working in, we call it A&E here in the UK, accident and emergency. You guys call it the ER, the emergency room. Or the emergency department, and they are working ridiculously long and hard at the moment. It's very, very tough. I mean, folks that had retired and were enjoying their retirement were asked if they would volunteer to come out of retirement to help build up defenses and staff and all of that, so that there are enough people in the hospitals who have lots of experience to be able to do stuff. So, yeah. So that's the story there. Let's see. If you're all sharing stems, make sure you do virus detection before uploading. That's hilarious. That's very funny, Bob. John Edgar says, can you talk a bit about using Sample 1? Sample 1 is very cool. It really is very cool. And it's actually more powerful now than it has ever been at any other time in Studio One history. So I guess I could pull up Studio One. Doodle-doo. And we could take a wee peek at Sample 1, and I can show you some of the things that you can do with it. I'll need to switch on my other keyboard. Just bear with me a sec. Because that is my MIDI controller. And you know what? This guy is 28 years old. This MIDI controller over here is 28 years old. And every time I fire it up, I often wonder if it will actually start. But pretty much every day for 28 years, it has never failed to start up, and it has never failed to do what I need it to do. But all the same, every time I press the button, I do wonder if the screen is actually going to light up. Because one day it probably won't. It will probably die eventually. So let's go create new song, empty song, boink. There we go. Don't worry, I'm going to show the screen in just a second. There we go. Let's set that to input left. There we go. Let's change the color. Yeah, that'll do. All right, I'm going to go back over to the screen for just a minute. Lollipop Guild is here. Hello, good to see you. Somebody donated something. Who was that? Oh, it's just Bob. Give me a $5. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Saying for all you do. I appreciate that. That's very kind. Thank you very much. Let's see. Lollipop Guild said something I was about to read and I kind of got distracted. Mika says, hello all, what's going on with JG? Yeah, already answered that one. Lollipop Guild says, Johnny, I'm okay ducking out. You need to take care of yourself just in case you have picked it up while out getting your knee cared for. Please be careful. Yeah, I had my COVID-19 test whilst I was at the hospital getting my knees injected. And the test was negative. So we're good. I'm fine. I just have seasonal flu because they tested that as well. Because they have to be able to eliminate things and stuff. So yeah, so my voice is a little bit lower in pitch and a little bit lower in volume as well. So please bear with my low volume. I will try and turn it up in post if I can, so that it's a little bit better balanced. I'm making my way down to questions and stuff. Martin Wheat says, that kind of workload really ravishes the immune system. I hope your wife doesn't wind up in the hospital from exhaustion. Yeah, she's good. She works in community. She is a community... Start that again. She is a community midwife, which is what she does. Which is, I think the US equivalent is obstetric nurse. I think that's the equivalent. We call them midwives over here because we pretty much invented what is modern midwifery, modern care for women antenatally, before they give birth, during actual delivery, and then postnatally. Yeah, we pretty much invented modern midwifery here in the UK. But you guys call it obstetric nursing, and that's fine. It's just a different terminology. But yeah, she works in community as a midwife, and so her hours are kind of a little bit more kind of 8:30 until 4:30 is what she does, generally speaking. But there are times where she actually has to go out and do a delivery at home, in which case she can be out for most of the night, on top of having been in community for the day as well. So yeah, it can be pretty busy. Yeah, Mika says sample 1 is fantastic, especially the send to new sample 1 implementation in Studio One. Yeah, absolutely. And also being able to send from sample 1 into Impact. I've got a video on that on my channel, so after this show you can go watch that. Use it for very fast replacement, time stretching, refilling. Yeah, it's so powerful. Sample 1 is ridiculously powerful. Bobby Booth with the $5 donation. Bobby, you are a very generous man. Thank you very much. And the two Bobs, actually, Bobby Booth and Just Bob, are awesome. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. That's $10. That'll buy me... I was going to say that'll buy me a hot dog, but it won't because there are no hot dog stands at the moment. They are all closed, and McDonald's is closed. Everywhere is closed, apart from Pizza Hut. I can still get delivery from Pizza Hut and from my local fish and chip shop, which is great, because that's the kind of thing that keeps me sane. Michael Johnson says, so midwife doesn't mean not the one on the left and the one on the right. Yeah, and we're not talking about mid-frequency wife either, so we don't scoop out wives, if you know what I mean. There we go. Let's see. Kyle says, was watching a local live musician before I jumped over here. Yeah, doing home concerts is, well, I mean, this is the ideal opportunity that we have right now to do such things as my phone, and I forgot to turn the volume off. There we go. That's somebody replying to one of my videos. That's kind of them. Thank you. Yeah, doing streaming concerts has been a bit of a thing for a while, but now, especially in this time when we have everywhere on lockdown and stuff, it just totally makes sense. If you're not able to go out and do gigs because they're all cancelled because all the venues are closed, it really does make sense to get yourself a small little streaming rig and a YouTube account and everything else, so that you can get streaming. And there are great platforms like Concert Window where you can actually you can properly ticket your event, so you can charge on the door, or you can take donations whilst you're playing. You can have it like free entry, and then you can have like a tip jar effectively, where during the show you can say, hey, if you like these songs and if you're enjoying my performance, please throw some dollars in the tip jar. And that's another way to kind of really make some money from your music, from your songs. And I think lots of us should do it. I would do it if I didn't have this lousy flipping flu thing that I've got at the moment. Sucks. Because it means I can't really sing. I normally have a 3.5 octave range to my voice, and I'm limited to about a major ninth right now. Lollipop Guild says, love a good fish and chips. Yeah, absolutely. Not easy to find. You know what? This is the thing. It's interestingly popular in the United States, but there aren't so many places you can get real high quality, fresh caught fish and chips. Quite difficult to come by, unless you kind of live relatively close to the coastline, where you can catch fresh fish and have it, beer battered and fried and served up pretty quickly. Here in Scotland, particularly here in Edinburgh, we have fishing ports here. And so getting fresh fish is very, very easy. And, they catch it that day, and then it can get battered in whatever batter you want. Some fish and chip shops do beer batter, which is very, very nice. Carl says, in fact, I have to go binge watch Call the Midwife. Yes, that is one of my wife's favorite shows. As if that's at all unlikely. Yeah, she loves it, and she's got the book as well. She's read the book. It's all based on the very true account of a young midwife growing up, and we watch her career, and it's really, really good. Excellent show. Mika says, tip for string players: if you're going to do a live stream concert, please use a tuner. Absolutely. In fact, I would say if you're playing any instrument that is not a keyboard instrument, if you're playing a guitar, a bass, a saxophone, a trumpet, whatever you're playing, tune your instrument, please. Lollipop Gill says, we're on a huge lake. Well, yep, if you live in, well, there are several really big lakes in the United States. So if it is a saltwater lake, then you're in luck, aren't you? Because you can catch saltwater fish like haddock and cod and tuna and that kind of thing. No, tuna is a freshwater fish. But yeah, you can certainly catch haddock and cod and that kind of stuff. Fresh from the New Jersey shoreline. Absolutely. Alrighty, so the first question we had come in was all about sample 1. Now, as I said, I actually have a video on sample 1 already, but that doesn't mean to say that we can't go take a look. Because we can. Because I am a nice guy. Alright, here we are. Here's sample 1. Now, I'm hoping that some point in the future, you will be able to shrink this, which would be very nice, because it is pretty gigantic. Now, granted, some of the size is due to the fact that these controls are a good size and all the text is easily legible and everything else, but still, it would be nice if you could grow it and shrink it as required. That'd be nice. All right, so what are we going to do? We are going to record something and then we're going to play it back on my keyboard. And I'll show you how you can map and everything else. And then you can send it to Impact, which is very, very cool. Like I said, I've got a video that shows you how to do that. Very, very handy. And there's lots of functions and things here. You can mess about with the pitch, with the filter, with the amp, and the LFO, and all of these kind of things. You can mess about with your heart's content. I would probably have to do a miniature series on Sample 1 all by itself if I really want to go into depth on every function here, which we won't do tonight because this is songwriting rather than just like a regular Studio One show. But yeah, handy little thing anyway. All right, let's record something. What are we going to record? Let's see. There we go. That will do very nicely, and that should be automatically mapped to. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. For some reason, it's mapped all the way down there. Ah, I know why. My keyboard's on transpose. Hang on. I don't know why it's mapped it all the way down there, but that's okay. We can change that. That's fine. I'll show you how to change it. But first of all, one of the things we want to do is we want to go, now that we've got this, the first thing you noticed is there's a whole lot of silence at the start of the sample here, which you will see if I go into the wave function, you'll see the little scrolling line across there shows you that. Now, if you grab the little triangles at the corner, you can really make that nice and tight, like that. And that just is a lot better. Now, the next thing you can do is you can go to mapping here, and for a start, we want to move this to, let's say, middle C. That'll be fine. That'll be and then if you go to the ends of this little central node here, you see the symbol changes from a hand or a pointer into this little thing here. And that means you can stretch that all the way down to, let's see, where we'll stretch it down to C1. And then we'll stretch this all the way up to C6. And then what happens now is and now you've got me sounding like a slightly hungry and possibly provoked lion. Or you've got me sounding like a mouse. And you can play chords. Now, the cool thing about this is if you want to play chords and you want to follow the tempo of your song, so all the notes are the same length, you just click this button here. If you go back into Wave and then click Follow Tempo, now they'll all follow the same tempo. Sometimes they don't all trigger together at the same time though, which is a bit annoying. Which I think is possibly a bug. Possibly that is a wee bug, but if you take that off, you get it to do it. But as you can hear, all the notes are playing at different speeds and different lengths now. And you can play weird chords. Bit of pitch bend. Which just sounds bizarre to say the least. And you can reverse things as well. I have to try and remember where you do that. That's this button over here. Reverse it. And So if I had said something completely different, like if I was to remove this sample, remove sample, and let's say we were to record something spoken. Jingle bells, jingle, not all the way. Now we stop that, we go to wave, we tighten this up. Like that. And we're not going to worry too much about mapping right now. Except to say that I do want this over here. Jingle bells, jingle, not all the way. All right, now we could map that if we were wanting to have lots of fun, but we can reverse this. There we go. I sound Russian. If only I could work out how to say donkeys are aliens backwards. That could be quite entertaining. But yeah, you can have hours and hours and hours and hours of endless fun with this. You can screw with the transpose like that. Turn that into a ray gun, or oh dear God, that sounds like a tractor starting up. That sounds disturbing. But yes, you can do all sorts of entertaining things with sounds like that. And then, of course, you can either perform them straight into your track, wherever they're mapped, or you can multi-layer different samples. So I could record further samples, and then I can multi-layer them in this little mapping screen here. And I could have several samples layered together if I wanted to. I could have several different voices or several different sounds layered together on a single key or mapped across the keyboard in some way. And then, of course, you can send that to, an impact pad if you want. If you want to trigger it from something like the Atom or something like that, you can do that. So lots of fun can be had there. Yeah, and you can have it play backwards, play it forwards. Jingle bells, jingle, not all the way. There you go. Never jingle all the way, is what I would say. All right, so I hope that was fun and entertaining for you. And angry jingle bells. Yes, absolutely. Mika says, can you demo how to balance the levels, filter, resonance, pan, etc. of different multi-sample, sample one instruments like drums? That would be for a whole other video, I think, Mika. But I've given you a little flavor of it, and I've got a video on how you can send something that you do in Sample 1 to Impact, or you can layer different tracks in Studio One and then send them all to Sample 1. You can do that as well. It's very, very powerful. Try this. Record yourself saying words in different emotional expressions and mix them up. Yes, you can certainly do that as well. Budbox has said donkeys are aliens in reverse. Thank you very much. Snila era. Was that Sjeknod? Oh yes, Sjeknod. Snila Eris. Okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it just because we can, and it's fun. So let's go over here. Let's go to the record panel. Oh, I need to. Can I map that to a shortcut? I don't think I can. That's annoying. I have to find that again now. Snila. I have to try and work out how to do a sound backwards. Snila Psychnod. Something like that. Okay, let's try it. Snila Eris Psychnod. Let's try it. Snila Eris Psychnod. All right. I don't know whether that's going to sound any good, but we're going to try it. Where is it? It's on it. It's randomly pitching it at the moment. There we go. And let's go back over here. Snila Irasyknod. Yeah, okay, let's try reversing that and see what that comes out like. Here we go. Almost. That sounds like donkeys are in New Orleans. Yeah, kind of sounds a little bit like donkeys are in New Orleans. No, donkeys in New Orleans. Yeah, donkeys are in New Orleans or something like that. It was close. We got close. And I was on the wrong screen, but that's okay. I was on the wrong screen. That's okay. You didn't need to see that. Lollipop Girl with a $10 donation. Thank you very much. Great demo tonight. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much. You're very kind. Sound like a drunk Scotsman. Well, yes. Yes. My drinking days are way behind now, but certainly by reversing what I say, we can certainly get that effect, I suppose. Mika says, Sample One's greatest power is in its musical power for drums, drops, fast loop, riffs, keyboard patch samples, etc., then manipulating the MIDI to trigger it as you want. Yeah, that's definitely very true. I would agree with that there. And I probably should do like a whole video series on Sample One and its power. I don't know that there is actually a set of videos specifically on the Personas YouTube channel. I don't think we've got any that specifically go into the new Sample One. I think when we launched 4.5 with all of this new Sample One stuff, I don't think I really actually did much in the way of a video on it as part of my 4.5 series. I think I kind of like skirted over it because I needed to make those videos short, like little 4 or 5 minute videos. So yeah, maybe a little bit, late now down the line, but maybe I should do a set of videos anyway, just for the sheer fun of it. But I'm glad it amused you, Mika. We could try different things. Maybe, guys, if you post different things that I can reverse. But it does mean you're gonna have to try saying things. You're gonna have to try writing them backwards in the chat so I can try saying them. That could be quite entertaining for a few minutes. Try saying backwards without sounding like you're saying backwards. Don't slow it down. Okay. Try and say backwards without sounding like you're saying backwards. Okay. All right. Let's remove that sample. Again, I'm not going to go onto the Studio One screen because you don't really need to see it, I don't think. Remove sample. Let's go into the record. So backwards. Backwards. I have to try and think how you say it backwards now. How you say backwards backwards? Hang on, I need to go look at the chat. So I've got a visual on the word backwards. Backwards. Stirwa cab. Stirwa cab. Stirwa cab. Stirwa cab. Okay, Stirwa cab. I'll try that. Stirwa cab. Here we go. Stirwa cab. Let's try that. Let's see where it's mapped it to. Where's it put it? Okay, let's go back up here. Stirwa cab. Okay, let's oh, don't want to do that. Let's move the ends. There we go. All right, so I've tightened it up. Let's hit the reverse button and see what this comes out like. Backwards. Oh! That's not bad. Backwards. Backwards. I kind of sound like I'm from Liverpool, but that's okay. Backwards. Or maybe I'm Australian with their question intonation, where they all talk like this, where it goes up at the end of the sentence anyway, whether they need it to or not. Backwards. Backwards. Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, I like that. Pretty good. Pretty good as indeed, actually. Mika says, just do a video on how to use ADSR envelopes is dearly needed. Actually, I think my dear friend and colleague, Gregor, might well have some videos on that kind of thing coming up. Although, speaking to him today, he has, like, a list of videos that's pretty much about a mile long that are on his list to make. Excuse me, snorting. Hopefully I will be in better condition on Sunday for my Sunday show. I was going to do some extra streams this week, but tell you what, I've just been feeling absolutely lousy. Too lousy to do anything, really, other than watch Star Trek videos. And I've got the box set of all the Star Trek films, actually, on DVD. And I've just been chucking them in and watching them. And the kids have been doing their schoolwork, which has been really good, because they are home from school probably until at least September. We don't know. We don't know whether their school is actually going to open again. It might, hopefully. We'll have to see kind of like how this whole coronavirus thing pans out here in the UK. We were so slow in responding to it that it wouldn't surprise me if we are among the countries in the world that go down the hardest for the longest, in my opinion. But that's all I'm going to say on the matter, because I don't want to get political about it, and I don't want to start kind of like pointing political fingers at governments and that kind of thing, because that's not appropriate for my channel. James Gio says, Dugurev. That's what you want me to say, right? Which is very good. All right, let's try that. Very good. Dugurev. There you go, Dugurev. Let's do Dugurev. So let's do that. Let's go back to that. Dugurev. There you go. Ready? Dugurev. Alrighty. I said it quite quick as well. I'm taking Budbox's advice to say it fast, because that seems to be the thing to do, is to say it fast. Dugurev. Alright, so let's reverse it. Here we go. Very good. Oh, not bad. Very good. Still a little bit kind of either Dutch. Is that Dutch? Very good. Yeah, it's kind of Dutch, isn't it? Kind of Dutch. Very good. Yeah, I think the vert is a little bit too long. Very good. And I maybe need to actually reverse my intonation, because normally I'm doing it like this. Dugurev. So maybe I need to go Dugurev. Yeah, Dugurev. Let's try that. Let's remove this sample. Let's try reversing the pitch of it. So I need to go up and not down. So I need to go Dugurev. All right, let's try this. See if this actually works better this time. Oh, this could be fun. Here we go. Dugurev. There it is that way round. Let's reverse it. Here we go. Very good. Oh, very good. Very good. I need to harden up the G, don't I? Very good. Very good. Very good. And harden up the D. Very good. But yeah, I almost got it. Not bad. Not a bad effort, I don't think. Not a bad effort. Let's see what else we got. Did sound like the floor is about to come up and greet you. Yes. You gone Dutch? Yeah, probably. Just Bob says, where is your stuffed gerbil friend? Haven't seen him make an appearance since you moved. Sorry, I don't remember. Oh, Kevin. Yes, Kevin is still here. Kevin is still here. Say hello, Kevin. Hello. There you go. That's Kevin. Yeah, he's still here. Kevin the gerbil is still here. He sits on top of my 1824. And he watches me mix. And next to him is Bob. Hello, Bob. Yeah. These are toys that my kids over the years have brought into the studio and said, oh, you can keep that. You can put that on your shelf. And so that's what I do. And we've got Dino as well. Hang on, let me get Dino. Here we go. Here's Dino, which is a wind-up dinosaur that doesn't really wind up anymore. There you go. That's Dino. Try and get him back up on the 1824 as well. There we go. And I've missed out a couple here. And there's Fluff. And then there's this guy who is wearing a Starship Troopers hat and a black, I don't know what that is. A black jacket, a black utility jacket of some kind, and he's standing on his own little plinth with a huge hairbrush. Don't know if you can see that. There you go. Huge hairbrush. My son made this. And he doesn't have a name yet. But there you go. Those are the things that sit on my shelf. Oh, and this sits on my shelf as well. Anyone know what this is? Anyone know what this is? You're probably not seeing it yet because there's a heck of a lag. So I'll hold this up for a bit longer. I'm interested to see how many people know what this is. So if you know what this is, put it in the chat and tell me what you think it is. Budbuck says, butchers, greengrocers in the UK use backslang to talk condition of goods. Yes. We use backslang a lot here in the UK. Yes, James Geo, you are quite correct. Cricket ball that hit me in the head. Actually, this isn't the one that hit me in the head. This is the one I took 5 wickets in a match. I got 5 people out. And they only scored 15 runs off of me. And it's not my best bowling performance, but it was pretty good. I have several of these. These are match balls. This was actually used in a match. And when you take 5 wickets or more, you get given the match ball for doing so. And so that's what this is. And this is one of my match balls. This one, as I say, is the 5 for 15. There are other ones on that shelf over there. There's about 4 of them. And there's one on there that sits in a little silver tankard. That's the one which I got from my best bowling performance, which was 7 wickets for 18. That was my best bowling performance. 7 wickets. Got 7 people out for only 18 runs. If you know nothing about cricket, you'll not know what that means. But it's like in baseball when you're a pitcher and you get people out. And that's what I did. I was a bowler, and I used to bowl very fast. Snidely Whiplash is here. He says, are you guys locked down? Yes, we are. We are. And I have personally been under quarantine for already nearly 2 weeks. My kids are quarantined as well. My wife has just, on Friday, came out of her quarantine, and she's been back at work. So she was only in for 7 days. Okay, I'll let this one pass, Budbox, for once. I guess you're better off with your balls match. Very funny. So yeah, we are under lockdown. It's not a full lockdown. It should be, but it isn't. It's kind of 9/10 of the way to a lockdown. Our government are kind of being a bit daft, to be honest, in that respect. Because we should have been on lockdown probably about 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks ago, to be honest. But our government chose to not do that, and they chose to not necessarily listen to the best advice. And so we're now living with that. Did you guys get tested? I was tested today. I was down at the hospital having injections in my knees. And whilst I was there, because I obviously kind of have some flu-like symptoms, they said, hey, we'd better test you. So they tested me, and it was negative for COVID-19. I just have seasonal flu, pretty much. Just Bo says, you don't want a recessed ball, better to be hanging. Okay, and you've just deleted that. I was going to read it, because it actually got past the censorship, so hang on a second. I had an itch in my ear. Sorted now. So there you go. Any other questions? And anything else anybody wants me to do backwards into sample 1? That's always a fun game to play. If you're ever bored, and you're kind of looking for something to do in Studio One, I definitely recommend getting sample 1 out and having a play with it. You know, even if you are not in it to make music necessarily, but certainly get to know it, get familiar with what it can do. It can do absolutely tons of things. I mean, we've hardly really touched the top. We've hardly really touched the surface of what sample 1 can do. It's phenomenally powerful compared to what it used to be in Studio One 3. Yeah, I got you, Bob. I got you. It got past the censorship, but there you go. But yeah, yeah, have a play with sample 1 because it is so powerful. And you can do so much with it, and you can send to Impact, and you can send from Impact. In fact, you don't even need to send. All you need to have is Impact open and sample 1 open at the same time. Create your sample, edit it all up nice and neat and how you want it in sample 1, and multi-layer, do whatever you want. Multi-layering, you can layer up as many samples as you want, and then you can just you can drag each one of those samples. Once you've got them how you want them, you can just drag them straight and direct to pads on Impact. I've got a video that shows you how to do that on my channel, so feel free to go watch that after this for sure. Okay, we've got about 6 minutes. 6 minutes left, and then we will call it a night because it is nearly midnight here. Next week, just so you know, next week, I believe it's next week, our clocks change, which means nothing for you guys because my show, my Sunday Night Live show will always be at 6 p.m. Central. Okay, the only person that will change is me. So I think it's next week that my Sunday show will be, for me, at midnight. And if you are in Europe, it will be at 1 a.m. So you've been lucky, those of you that are watching from Europe or have been watching from Europe. It's been kind of midnight. And if you're in the UK, it's been 11 p.m. It's been very, very cool. But when the clocks change, it will be Back to the usual midnight in the UK, 1 a.m. in Central Europe. And I believe that's lunchtime down in Australia for my Australian friends. And so that's going to be good. So if you're having your lunch break in Sydney, Melbourne, or Queensland, or somewhere like that, yeah, clocks change on the 29th. That's right. Which is coming up this Sunday. So yeah, so it could well affect this Sunday show, except I think it takes place at 2 a.m. So I think this week will be the last week that it will be at 11 p.m. UK time, and the following week. So not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, it will change. If you're in the UK or Europe, if you're in the United States, it will not change. It will still be 6 p.m. Central with that central, regular Central time, or your summertime. It'll always be 6 p.m. So there you go. What I have to do is I have to remember when your clocks change. And I always forget, and I always get caught out on at least one show. So, gotta figure that out. And I just have to keep an eye on things. But yeah, there's such a lot going on here at the studio at the moment, other than having my kids around all the time, which is nice. I don't normally have that. It's normally very quiet here. I take them down to school. I teach a percussion class in the morning, and then I come back here and I'm at work when I'm in here. And it's usually very, very quiet, and it's very nice. And all of that. So it's really quite nice, but it's really proper crowded and noisy at the moment. Just Bob says, record telephone backwards. Encopelet. Oh, you missed out the H there. So it'd be encophelet. It's going to have to be a soft E, because when you say telephone, there is, yeah, so I have to leave off that E and go nophelet. Nophelet, maybe? Nophelet. Hard T. Nophelet. Okay, going to try that. That'll be the last act, I think, here. Nophelet. Let's go to Studio One. Let's remove that sample. Let's do another one. What did I say? Phone, telephone, no flat. No flat. No flat. No flat. There you go. No flat. No flat. No flat. There we go. Let's try that. Let's get you over so you can see what I'm doing. No flat. No flat. No flat. I'm just trying to work it out in my head. No flat. I think it's no flat. Let's try it. No fillet. Alrighty. Tidy that. Tidy that. Go and grab it in mapping. Go back to wave. No fillet. No fillet. Oh, it's going to go telephone, isn't it? Because I've gone up, haven't I? No fillet. I've gone down. I forgot. No fillet. Telephone. There you go. Telephone. Oh, it's even with a Edinburgh accent as well. Telephone. 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 Yeah, pretty good. Telephone. I could have made that T a little bit harder, maybe. Telephone. Should have gone no flat or no flat. No flat. That's what I should have done. No flat. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Going to do it again. Going to get it right this time, so I'm going to go no flat. No flat. There we go. No flat. Let's see. See how this works. Mapping. And no flat. There we go. And let's reverse that sucker. Cell phone. Cell phone. Ah, messed up the T, didn't it? Cell phone. Cell phone. Now it's like smellophone. Cell phone. Ha ha ha. Cell phone. Cell phone. Smell the phone. Smell phone. Smell phone. Smell the phone. It's been down my trousers all day. Smell phone. Smelly phone. That's so funny. Smell my farts. I'm going to text it to you. There you go. Just Bob said, this is a cool exercise in how words and inflections work. Absolutely. Ken says, drag the N out at the beginning so it hangs on at the end when backwards. Good idea. Yeah. I should do that. But I think I'm starting to lose my voice, which is no great. Probably great for my kids and great for my wife, but not for me, I'm afraid. So, yeah. I think we will wrap it up there. Laughter, good medicine. Yes, it most certainly. Yes. Smell your foot. That's what it sounds like. Yes, smell your foot. Do not smell my feet. If there was such a thing as smell-o-vision, you guys would be dead. Seriously. It's worse than coronavirus. My feet are the most dangerous things on the planet. Absolutely. I don't know why either. Just weird. But there you go. All right, folks. There we go. That is the end of the show. I need to find my end screen and have that ready. And I'm otherwise going to wish you all a very, very good night. Enjoy your evenings, whatever you get up to, and hunker down, wash your hands, do them well, wash them for 20 seconds. Make sure you cover every part of your hands, your fingers, between your fingers, your palms, all the way up to your wrists. Make sure you do that for 20 seconds. And, don't use a towel to dry your hands. Either air dry them, shake them out, air dry them, something like that. So you're not sharing towels. That's another way in which this virus can spread. I was being told that today at the hospital. So yeah, don't share a towel. If you've got like a hand towel for drying your hands in the bathroom, use something else. Or hand dry them. Or dry them on your butt or something. I don't know. Your trousers. That kind of thing. And keep to your country's guidelines on what you should do. So if that is full lockdown, you stay indoors. You stay at home. You do not go out unless your house is burning down. Or you need to go and get some essential supplies. Something like that. Just follow your country's guidelines and let's stop this thing from spreading further. And hopefully we can flatten the curves in a few countries. I think maybe for the UK, it might be a little bit too late to flatten it very much. And it might well be the same for the US. But across Europe, if you are listening across Europe, follow your country's guidelines. And even if your country is not in lockdown, take the initiative. Volunteer. Go into voluntary lockdown would be my advice. And, self-isolate. Do what you need to do to look after not just yourselves, but look after everybody else. This is about looking after, this is the one time in the world where we really need to learn this lesson, to look after our neighbors and treat our neighbors as we'd be treated ourselves. And look after each other. This isn't just about me. This isn't just about you. This is about all of us where, coronavirus is going to teach us one thing, hopefully. And that is that regardless of your creed, your color, your race, your religion, your ethnicity, your background, your political views, we're all human. And we all die. And this thing can kill. So hopefully that is the lesson that we will learn. And hopefully it's something that we won't ever forget. And that actually, when we come out of this and coronavirus is under control and we have a cure for it, hopefully we'll find ourselves in a position where we are actually a much more caring society. And instead of thinking about ourselves and our own little family, we start thinking about others and our communities and looking out for people that live on our streets and caring for them, because you know what? If you care for somebody else, they will care for you. If you're there for somebody else, they'll be there for you when you need it. And that's how it works. That's how society works best. That's my opinion, how society was designed to work best. So there we go. I'm going to end with that piece of advice. And I will see you guys on Sunday for the regular Sunday Night Live show. And I'll have something cool and funky as we carry on with working on this song. If you guys are digging working on this song, then definitely we will carry on with it. If it's not something you're digging, you would rather we did something else, then please do drop me a line. Let me know either on Facebook or emailing me at johnny@johnnylipshamstudios.co.uk, and we can put the song on hold and we can do something else if that's what you'd prefer to do. All right, folks, I will see you, and you'll hear from Jonny probably fairly soon as to what's going on. He will fill you in. I'm not going to fill in the details. I'll leave that for him. It's his prerogative. It's his family. Take care, everybody. Good night. Good night, everybody.